Well, what do we have here, guys? We have Redfin getting out of the house flipping market. Remember the Redfin that pushed up prices, then tried to sell you the home back at a 30% markup? Remember that Redfin? That Redfin is now saying, look, we're out of it. We got Zillow that jumped out of the game. We've got Redfin jumped out of the game. We've got Open Door jumping out of the game. Now all of these guys are jumping out of the game. Now, is it a big surprise that these guys are no longer in the game? No, it's not a surprise. We knew this was gonna happen. We knew that these guys going in using their AI programs, trying to figure out the housing market, trying to push up, which they did, push up the housing market. When it gets too hot in the kitchen, what happens? These guys bailed so quickly.
Wow, that was fast.
But let's jump right into it, guys. My name is Orlando and welcome to the channel. It says Redfin shuts home flipping business and cuts 13% of its workforce. So let me get this straight. So not only did Redfin jump out of the home flipping market, they fired every employee that supported that business. They said, get out of here. We are cutting you. Sorry, we're out of the game, so we don't need you anymore.
You're fired. Get out.
Remember, guys, what I always say, these companies are loyal. This is the reason why I preach about having a stable job, making sure that you're looking before you buy a house at your job and saying to yourself,
am I gonna get replaced by AI? Is my industry on the hot seat? Can I get fired? Is there anything in the previous past news that has said rumblings about me getting laid off?
And we're starting to see that now. We saw it with Facebook, we saw it with Ford, we saw it with tons of other, Twitter. It continues on and on and on. And I know what a lot of you guys are thinking.
Orlando, that is just the mortgage section. It's just tech jobs.
What about Amazon? What about Walmart? It's going to continue to happen.
These ain't opinions. These are facts.
But this is what I'm talking about. It says here, Redfin is set to shutter its home flipping business and reduce its workforce by 13%, laying off 862 employees. About 264 of those job cuts will be directly related to the shutdown of Redfin Now, the company's instant buying or iBuying business in which it purchases a home as is, completes minor repairs, and resells the home on the open market. And let me just remind you guys, it's for an uptick of 30%. So not only do they go in, buy your house, and they say, oh, thank you for selling it, they go ahead and mark it up by a huge amount.
Is that gonna cost me?
But the question is why did they decide to get out of the market? Could it be the demand of the housing market has stopped in its place? Maybe it's because Wells Fargo has seen 90% decrease in application for mortgages? Maybe because interest rates are continuing to creep up and up and up, and we still have more Fed rate increases. Now, I do remember seeing the news about the CPI report of inflation going down and everybody cheering like,
oh man, Orlando, finally, we hit the bottom.
No. Don't be fooled, guys. Don't be fooled. That is not the case. We are just seeing people celebrate something so small. Just really think about it. We just came from 7.9 to 7.7, and we're celebrating like inflation has been defeated? We know it hasn't been defeated, guys. Come on, guys. Don't get played by sellers and the market tried to trick you into getting into a mortgage and paying high prices for these homes that you can't afford.
Help me, I'm poor.
And then you'll be upset when you see that the market in December tanks. But let's continue on. Winding down Redfin Now is a strategic decision we made in order to focus our resources on our core business in the face of rising costs of capital. They kind of did just directly say what it is. And listen, it's obvious. They are basically saying,
hey, mortgage rates are too high and demand is low. We're jumping out of this. You take the window or you take the stairs.
You and your friend got a choice. You can either go out that window or take the stairs.
And the question is which one are they going to take? They don't care. They need out of the building. They're getting out. They're not going to play in this marketplace. And they're shedding and talking about, we're going to get back to our core business. And that core business is tricking you into believing this is a good time to buy a house. This is a great time. Hey, yeah, remember you guys sat on the sideline for a month and a half? Oh, now the market is prime. It's great. Remember, rates went down, 0.5%. They were 8%. Now they're 7.5%. This is the best time to buy. And guess what? Guess what, buyers? We're going to be right on your side waiting for you to buy a house. We will be there to support you in your new mission to buy an overpriced home that is at a slightly lower rate than 8%.
What is this new devilry?
Oh boy. And guys, listen, not only can you look at that, let's look at what they said about Redfin as a company. It said it's a flawed business model. Earlier this week, Redfin's business model was fundamentally flawed, spurring the company's stock to plummet as much as 17% to an all-time low on Monday. Well, if your stock plummets, people are saying that you're flawed, you're raising capital costs. You're gonna decide, hey, we gotta cut our losses. We're gonna, we've gotta get rid of these houses. Now, this is the thing, guys. Do you think there will be some deals to be had from all of these, these homes that Redfin still has on their balance sheet? Yes, I believe there are, but you got to find them first. And remember, they are not going to give you the deal of the century on these properties. They're going to cut it $10,000, $15,000. Maybe in Boise, you may even get a $20,000 price cut, but you're not going to get the really juicy stuff until next year, guys. I'm telling you, look, you don't have to take my word for it. I'm just a guy on YouTube. You have to use your own head to make the best decisions for you and your family. I'm not telling you that. I'm just giving you my opinion that I think it's probably better to wait until all of this stuff happens in the holiday season and we get past winter and we get into the middle or the first quarter of next year. I think that's the best time to reassess what's going on in this housing market. There's a lot of moving pieces. Just this week, we've seen crypto fall off a course, which obviously we all expected crypto to fall off the course. I mean, who didn't see that coming?
Really?
But I'm not hating on anybody who does crypto. I'm just saying it was just, you had to see it. But that's not the point. The point is that crypto, the stock market, everything is going down. You can't turn on the television right now and not see markets falling, and more markets falling. And a lot of times people would say, Orlando, this is the time to buy. When you're turning on the TV and you're seeing markets falling, and more markets falling, right? But I'm here to tell you, when it comes to the housing market, we have not even scratched the surface. We have not even worked on this inflation scenario. You guys have to remember, when it comes to this inflation thing that we're trying to beat, we have just started to get inflation down. And we haven't even gotten it down by that much. I mean, it's down 0.4% or something like that, maybe a little bit more than that, but it's not by much. If at the peak, I believe maybe we're closer to 1%, but maybe not even at that point. And remember, we're trying to get to 2. I know, guys, look, that's a long way to go to get from 8 to 2. And how long have we been working to try to get back to 2? 6 months? 4 months? And we have only scratched the surface. Don't get fooled, guys. Don't go looking for a house right now thinking you're going to get the deal of the century, only to be disappointed when prices continue to drop and you lose the equity that you just put into a house at the purchase price you just bought it at. No! Don't do that, man. Please don't do that. I just want to show you guys the correlation that it has when it comes to these companies, these iBuyer programs that decided to get into the housing market, push prices up, and what happened to their stock, what happened to when prices started going down, down, down. Where did their companies end up and what made them jump out of it? So we're looking at this boom bust, how shares of major iBuyers shifted during and following the pandemic housing boom. Now, if we look at it, this is Opendoor, Zillow, and Redfin. The point of it is not to look at each one individually. The point of this is to see right here at the tippity top tip, right? we have in 2021, in what is this, February of 2021, look how high that was, guys. Now, let's just fast forward to today and let's see how the mighty have fallen. Now, let's take a look at this. Woo, that's a deep drop, deep drop, deep drop, and we're in the negatives. We're in the negatives. These companies got into the negatives. They jumped out fast that you could snap your fingers. They jumped out so fast. But here's the thing, guys. I just want you to remember this. They jumped out because they're mega corporations and they can do that. And they can figure out ways to shave costs, AKA fire and lay off you.
Reality can be whatever I want.
But let's take a realistic look. If you would have bought the house and you would have taken hit on a negative $100,000 overpriced home, and now you've lost $100,000 worth of equity. Now, will you be able to recover from that? Meaning, will you be able to get that money back? Well, you might if you keep the house for 15 years, maybe 20 years, you'll gain back that $100,000. Depending on your market. But here's the point I want you to remember, guys. All of these mega corporations, they bought these overpriced homes. They may be selling them at a discount, but they can make up the balance. They can get away with not losing as much through tax practices, through selling the homes, even though at a discount, they're still making some of their money back. They're not losing everything.
I am inevitable.
And then the number one way of doing that is advertising dollars and getting rid of you. But as a home buyer, you cannot get rid of and make the money back on a house that you paid $100,000 overpriced on. You can't do that. Well, you may be able to get it back, but it's going to take you 15 years, where these corporations can get it back in a snap of the finger. And we're seeing that happen right now, guys. And that really is the big picture. And the reason why I make these videos and tell you to focus on these little things and to also focus on sitting on the sideline and keeping your eyes on your local market and researching it. Remember, we're not sitting on the sidelines just to sit on the sidelines and just do nothing. We're sitting on the sidelines for a purpose. So as we know, guys, you're not going to get everything that you want out of this housing market by watching this one video. No, you're not. I need you to watch this next video here, guys. I promise you, you will get more information about how to navigate this crazy housing market. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks.